I'm Chris, you're watching FRAG-MENTAL. Today's video is all about 10 fragrances that I'm rating 10 out of 10. Stay tuned to FM. So I thought I'd do a video that I've not done before. I'm not sure if this has been done before. I certainly can't remember it. Maybe it was before I started watching fragrance YouTube videos, but I wanted to put together 10 out of 10 fragrances. I was thinking of making this a mixture of designer and niche, and then I looked at my collection and I just had too many amazing fragrances. So I did decide to split this. So this is the designer edition. I will do a niche edition of this one as well. I'm making this a tag video because I think there might be some other people out there, some other YouTubers that might be interested in doing this one. So hopefully we can get a nice tag rolling. This I know is quite similar to one that went round a couple of years ago. Keep only 10 fragrances for life. I feel this is slightly different because in that video we had to factor in different seasons, different occasions. This one is different, no filters, just pure 10 out of 10 designer fragrances. And by the way, all the fragrances on my list are not working from 10 up until 1, they're just all perfect 10s, so make sure you watch all the way through, and I will also let you know who I'm tagging at the end of this video. So let's get into the list. My first 10 out of 10 designer fragrance is one that I purchased around about the time I started doing my YouTube channel. So now I film on a nice camera, but I started on my phone. So when I smell this fragrance, it reminds me of the excitement of starting a YouTube channel and the nerves that I had when I first started it. So this is a flanker that I think improves on the original. It is part of the Armani code line, and of course, it's Armani code Profumo. Code Profumo opens with some sweet fruitiness, which is predominantly mandarin, and then in the heart there's some orange blossom, but it's the base that really makes this fragrance. In the base there's sweet tonka bean, rich amber and leather. If it wasn't for the leather in here, it would probably be, in my opinion, a 9 out of 10 fragrance, but the leather just adds structure, complexity and attitude, and it turns this fragrance into a bit more of a bad boy fragrance, a fragrance that you might wear when you want to be assertive, attract attention, when you're going out clubbing. When I wear it, it just gives me a great extra confidence boost, which I love. The next one is one of the more complex designer fragrances that I own. There's some cinnamon, fruits, tobacco, leather. This, in my opinion, is the best of the Azzaro Wanted line. It's Azzaro Wanted by Night. Looking at the notes of this one on paper, you might expect it to smell a little more complex and challenging, but don't forget, this is a designer fragrance, so it's super easy to wear, very mass appealing, it's got depth, it smells rich, it smells expensive. If you want to get compliments when you're going out clubbing, if you want a scent that would just work perfectly in autumn and winter, if you want to have a great big scent bubble, if you want to have good longevity and something that smells quite addictive, then Azzaro Wanted by Night would be a good choice. The next one up is a freshie. It's a marine aquatic, and one of the things I love most about this one is how long it lasts, which is something you don't always find with marine aquatic fragrances. It's a flanker. In fact, I think probably most of the fragrances in this list are flankers, thinking about it. This one is a flanker to the original Invictus. It's Invictus Aqua. My take on Invictus Aqua is that it has the salty marine accords sitting on top of the sweet bubblegum-like DNA of the original. I think it's a better scent than the original Invictus because that was much sweeter, whereas this one balances the sweetness with those salty marine accords. It just works really well. This is the 2016 version, which you can't buy anymore. The current formulation is the 2018 formulation, which comes in a slightly bluer bottle. I would say the current formulation leans a little more to the bubblegum sweetness of the original, but it's still very nice. Both of these are very nice. If you look hard enough on the internet, you might still be able to pick up bottles of 2016 Invictus. It is quite a youthful scent, but that doesn't bother me. I love wearing this, particularly in the summer. It just works every time. From a summer freshie to a winter warmer, it's another flanker. This one also improves on the original. It takes the original and it darkens it up and it makes it more complex and more interesting. It's a flanker to Spicebomb, and it's Spicebomb Night Vision. Of course it isn't. Spicebomb Extreme. Breaking news. This is spicy. It has spices in it. That is real news, not fake news. Actually, It's not quite as spicy as the original, it's not quite as lively in its spiciness, it's smoother, it's richer. The thing that really works for me in this is a gorgeous pairing of tobacco and vanilla. This would be perfect in winter. I think you could wear it in the autumn as well. It's a dark, rich, cozy, comforting scent, but it's also a fun, lively scent. This would be a good kind of clubbing scent in the autumn or winter. And you know what? This one almost smells niche quality, which is one of the things I love about it so much. This little grenade is full of fun, high quality and mass appeal. Next up is a fragrance that was my signature scent for over a decade. It's one of the most complimented and well-loved scents in the world, dropping panties everywhere since 1995. It's Lamar. I mean, what more is there to say about Lamar? It came along and it took that gentleman's classic fougere and it added a load more sweetness. It changed the game when it was released. It showed the world that a cologne wasn't all about just being fresh and clean. It encouraged us to connect with and embrace our more sensitive sides, which some people out there find super sexy, apparently. Anyway, all that you can say about Lamar is legend. Oh. Sorry. Speaking of classic cologne styles, the next one is a fragrance that packages what is so well loved about a masculine cologne and turns up the dial just enough to make it modern and relevant today. From Dior, it's Sauvage Parfum. It's clean, it's crisp, it's citrusy, so far so classic cologne, but what we also get thrown into the mix here is Myrrh, and the Myrrh adds a resinous depth which gives us an extra layer of sensual mysteriousness. So if you want to smell crisp, clean, well put together, mysterious and sexy, this boy right here.
Join the Scent Geeks every Monday as we podcast about all things fragrance. You'll find us anywhere you can usually find a podcast. Links are in the description below this video. See you there, geeks.
Let's have another flanker. The next one is part of Mugler's ever popular Amen line. For this, I almost picked Pure Malt. That's a 10 out of 10 fragrance. I love it. But the tobacco in this one just edged it out in front for me. It's Pure Havane. Pure Havane takes that patchouli-based DNA of the original Amen and, in my opinion, it improves on it. It brings tobacco and honey to the fore, which is a great pairing. Tobacco and honey work so well. I would class this as an uplifting, fun tobacco scent rather than a heavy, complicated scent. It's definitely not that. Very easy to wear. Perhaps doesn't smell quite as natural and high quality as a fragrance that it gets compared to in the niche world, which is Xerjoff Naxos, which I adore as well. This will be a friend to you through autumn and winter. Pure Havane is just... Should we have a flanker? We've not had a flanker for a while. This one has mint, mandarin and cypress in it. Also, tonka bean to the extreme, or should I say the extreme, because this is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Au Extreme. You've got the quality of Chanel, a pleasing, fresh, aromatic character, some easygoing fruitiness and a whole bunch of tonka, which makes this one of the easiest fragrances to wear and one of the most mass appealing fragrances that I own. It's sexy, it's classy, it's versatile, it ticks all the boxes and then adds a few more of its own magic stuff. This next one is a fragrance that grabbed me by the balls and flung me deep into niche. I probably would not have started this YouTube channel if it weren't for this scent. It's from Tom Ford, it's Oud Wood. I know there's that guy out there screaming at the screen right now going, Tom Ford Private Blend is not a designer fragrance. Well, here's my take on it. Tom Ford is a designer and he made a fragrance. I agree that the price of these and the quality of these does reflect what we often consider to be niche, but I think there's a category here called luxury designer. So even though this has niche sensibilities, officially, technically, it's a designer fragrance, so I'm saying it's a luxury designer. If you don't like my take on it, then you've got your opinion, I've got my opinion. Don't bother making a comment about it on the video. I've heard them all before. Anyway, let's talk about the fragrance. So this is a little bit green, it's sweet, it's spicy, very woody, not so oudy in the sense that it's a very skanky or barnyard oud. It's probably an oud accord, it's probably just supporting, so don't be put off by the name oud in this if you're thinking it might be too challenging. It's not a challenging fragrance in the slightest. Oud wood is just pure class. It's arguably the best and most versatile fragrance in the private blend collection. You can wear it whenever, wherever. It's sensual, it's intoxicating. If someone said to me I could only choose one fragrance to wear for the rest of my life that would suit all seasons, all occasions, and also smell amazing, then oud would be a serious contender. Hey, why don't we finish the list with a flanker? All right, let's do it. So this one is based around a beautiful iris accord. It's part of the Dior Homme line, and it's my favorite of the Dior Homme line. It's Dior Homme Parfum. I'm not going to lie to you, I had a hard time picking between this one and Dior Homme Intense. I love DHI. For me, that is also a 10 out of 10 fragrance. The reason I ended up going with this one is because I just love the extra bit of complexity that it has because of the leather, and I find the performance on me of this one is a little bit better than DHI. Both great fragrances, but let's talk about this one. Everything is balanced so well. The sweetness, the florals, the complexity of the leather. It's such a well put together, well structured fragrance. I just can't fault this in the slightest. Again, it's another autumn winter fragrance. I think a lot on my list are probably suited well to autumn and winter. Usually they're a little richer, a little deeper, a bit more complex. Dior Homme Parfum is a fragrance that you'd want to wear dressed up in a suit, when you want to just smell like you've got your shit together. You're a well put together gentleman, you want to smell classy. It's a word I always use a lot with these types of fragrances. Assertive, it's confidence inspiring, and in my opinion, Dior Homme Parfum pushes the boundaries of what a designer fragrance can be. This is a masterpiece from Dior. So there you have it. In my opinion, 10 out of 10 fragrances, or 10 10s, which is what I'm going to call this video. So I'm hoping that I can start this 10 10s tag. Let me tell you about the people that I would like to tag in this video. Firstly, I would like to tag Ashton from Gents Scents. He tagged me a while ago and I haven't tagged him back with anything, so I think this would be a good one. I would love to see Ashton pick 10 out of 10 fragrances because his collection is massive. So over to you, Ashton. I would also like to pick on that side of the pond Cam from Carolina Fragrances. This guy right here. Cam, show us what you've got in terms of 10 out of 10 fragrances. Then I'm going to bring it over to the other side of the pond and I'm going to tag 2 UK based reviewers, 2 of my favourites. First of all, George, the Fragrance Apprentice, let's see your 10s, and my podcast host on the Scent Geeks, Steve from Frags to Riches. So over to you guys, let's see your perfect 10s. So let me know what you thought of my choices. I would also be interested in some of your 10 out of 10 choices. Do you disagree with any of the choices I made? I'm sure some people will do out there, and that's absolutely fine. We've all got different opinions. This is just a fun video and I thought it might be fun to get another tag rolling. If people don't want to do this, don't worry, it's absolutely fine. I will not be offended. I just thought some other people might enjoy putting this fragrance list together. I did anyway, I had fun. Hopefully it was just a fun standalone video regardless of whether anyone else does it or not. So, you know, I don't care. I don't care if anyone does it. Do it if you want. Do it even if I've not tagged you, it's up to you. Anyway, that's it. That's the end. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, keep tuning into FM and keep smelling good.